complaint at www.ic3.gov. If you are calling to file a complaint regarding a federal crime or suspicious activity, press 1. If you are a sworn law enforcement officer, press 2. If you wish to speak with someone in the media office, press 3. If you're requesting applications for employment or to receive general applicant information, please visit www.fbijobs.gov. For all other calls, press 0. Seattle FBI.
Hi, how are you today, sir?
Good, are you?
Oh, I'm hanging in there, one day at a time here. Hey, I've been having to deal with some stuff over the last 6 years, and I've been trying to be heard, but because it's out of Idaho, I'm not being heard very well, and and because there was a federal law that was violated, because 3 different times that I caught these people doing it. It's hard to understand, but I believe that that there was a mock Supreme Court hearing done with me in regards to a near-death experience that I had on a job, which a state insurance fund had committed the fraud on August 1st, 7th, and the 11th of 2008, and then lied during a filing that I was doing with the Industrial Commission, stating that without me being able to, without signing these HIPAA medical release forms, they couldn't get these medical records.
So you just want to file a report regarding this matter?
Well, sir, they also took me all the way to an Idaho Supreme Court, and there's also a legislator who is also involved. But, you know, and then for me to find what this Chief Justice of the Supreme Court in Idaho had said in a video in 2011, just a few months after Lynn, an Idaho state legislator, quit on me, which he contacted me to take my case after 2 years of me fighting with the Industrial Commission of the fraud, because this is fraud, and it is in regards to documents that are protected under a federal law that had been received and sent to other people for review.
Okay, well, I'm gonna connect you to our reporting center so you can file an official report about this, okay?
Thank you, sir.
You have reached the FBI's public access line. This call will be recorded and may be monitored for authorized purposes.
Yes, ma'am. I can hardly hear you. My name is James Clark, and are you there? My name is James. My phone number is 360-258-1619, 3515 Harney Street. That's Harney Street, Vancouver, Washington. (98660). I believe that hard to believe, but over the last 6 years, I've been fighting with a state insurance fund. Oh man, how do I even start this? I've been posting on YouTube all the videos and the audio calls that I have been receiving from Steve Kenyon, which is the clerk of the Idaho Supreme Court, and everything, and do this near death that happened to me on a job, and then for a state agency to be the insurance company of the carrier of the people that I was working for, they had committed fraud, which is in relation to wire fraud, because they had received records that are protected under a federal law and sent them to other medical providers for review, but was lying to an industrial commission for 3 months, well, still lying, that without me signing these medical HIPAA release forms, that they can't get these documents. But they sent me to one of their psychiatrists, and that psychiatrist started talking about the same records that at that time I was fighting with the industrial commission, that I didn't feel that they were relevant to my injury, but they'd already received them, sent them to other medical providers. I mean, this accident happened in 2008, and where we're at right now is, I believe, because I was trying to look up under how the Supreme Court worked, because it wasn't what I had to know to make a living, because I can no longer make a living. But what it was, I found this video that the Chief Justice of the Idaho Supreme Court had put together to explain to people, to the public, how appellate court works. Now, with everybody that I've talked to, we're already aware that not too many people ever make it to the Idaho Supreme Court without an attorney, let alone one that was involved in an industrial accident, which I did. And I believe that this hearing, this oral argument that I just had at the Idaho Supreme Court, and Mr. Roger Bruddy, which is Chief Justice of the Idaho Supreme Court, and my remitter that I received just a couple days ago, I think everything that's happened over this since I filed this appeal before the Supreme Court, I think it's all been mocked. It's been a mock, because that video that I downloaded off the internet was done in 2011. And I believe that the Supreme Court Justice for the State Insurance Fund committed fraud, a federal offense. So a federal law, I have to contact to get him out of the state of Idaho, because I still didn't take advantage in the state of Idaho, because I tried to move forward over here to Washington, and then in their findings of facts, in conclusions of law, because this is where I believe that this has all been mocked, because they can't take it down off the webpage of the lies that I can produce, and that I even produced at the Supreme Court at my oral argument. And I don't want to represent myself, ma'am. I need the help. I'm supposed to even be having on psychiatric medications, but because of my illiteracy, and I just learned how to read not too long ago, I did hire an attorney, because that attorney, Lynn, Idaho legislator, who sets on the judicial rules to make sure things are put in place that the judicial, which is the industrial commission, are supposed to follow, the laws that they put into place and their posted guidelines and all that. Well, he contacted me because I put out on a web page how the Idaho State Insurance Fund had committed fraud, and I caught him at it. And then how the industrial commission is allowing that fraud to continue, but the commission wants me to sanction me for not signing these medical releases, which involves protected medical records that's protected under a federal law. And I wouldn't do it because I hadn't gotten an attorney yet. But they sent me to one of their doctors, the State Insurance Fund did. And that guy was talking about records that I'm right now, at that point, was arguing before the commission that were not relevant to my accident and my injury. And he already had those records. I almost lost my life on a job. OSHA even found him. OSHA found him guilty of 21 serious violations, ma'am. And then Lynn Luker even had my Social Security, because I've been institutionalized a couple of times because of this accident. And he knew I was working. I had filed a Social Security claim at one of those times that I was institutionalized, because I snapped during all this stress and me almost losing my life for 10 minutes until somebody shut a machine off and I had to fight for my life. And then everything that's happened. If you look up on YouTube, I'm sorry, man, but I can't get nobody to listen. I already had to go before in the Supreme Court. The remedy that I got because I'm so in depth into it. And that's where, and then that video I found that Roger Brady, a Supreme Court justice, had put together in 2011 about how an appellate made it to the Supreme Court and won. Now, I got up like I do for 49 years and went to work. And I was doing my job I was trained to do, and this machine set my arm into it, and it kept trying to pull me in because of the bands that are on those rollers that my arm got sucked into, which is only a 1/4 inch width, and my head was only inches away from that now, while I'm fighting for somebody to turn that fucking machine off. And as it's ripping through my clothes, the bands, and then ripping into my arm, if it would have caught into my bone in my arm, I would have been gone. Okay? And they had to life flight me because they thought they were going to have to amputate my arm. But then, Lynn who came in. Oh, man. If you go on YouTube, because I still don't comprehend. I got like 68 videos out there. I'm still not comprehending why nobody's responded to them. Okay, am I doing it right? This is my life, man. These people have done nothing but destroy me. They've taken advantage of an injured worker who literally almost lost his life. Lynn Luker, a legislator, contacts me after I put this stuff on a webpage about how I'm being treated. He comes in and I let him take my case. 11 months later, he quit after the hearing because Social Security, because he also had my Social Security case, but I ended up winning Social Security even after he quit it. Okay, because he even wrote me a letter saying that, Jim Clark, I did kind of look into, Mr. Clark, I looked into your, I don't think I should really, go ahead and take your Social Security, but you don't owe me nothing on that. And that was like about 4 months prior. Now, before he quit after he quit, because Social Security contacted me December the 15th of 2010, wanting more records so they could see if I'm, now this is where I'm confused. Now, Social Security, which is a federal government, they use the same records, same everything, and found me disabled based upon my injury. And then a year later, they finally had the nerves to send me a letter saying that I was denied it with the same records, and then Social Security and their commission's findings of facts. It was like they said that they didn't believe pretty much nothing that their doctors were saying. Well, of course not. Because they're... Who? Social Security did their findings of fact and conclusions of the law now. And the way that I've been looking, because I just learned how to read just back in 49 just prior to this accident. And I'm blessed I did learn how to read. I was illiterate all my life. April 17th of 2008. I went up to work. I almost lost my life, and it's been living hell ever since because the state insurance fund even put together a fraudulent job site evaluation. Now I have all these paperwork now. I have all this paperwork because I fought them before the hiring of Lynn Luker for almost 2 years of these records that they had received. And then to have the Idaho State Industrial Commission post on a web page right now, that's why I believe that everything that's happened to me since May 2nd has been a mock hearing on me. If you listen to the videos of the phone conversations of Steve Kenyon, clerk of the court, and of that court, the Supreme Court, and everybody that's involved, and not answering my questions, and I'm asking them, and you can hear me, and I'm straight, just like I tried to get it sent to the United States Supreme Court because of what was going on just recently, and I just got their remitter a couple of days ago, supposedly a remitter from the Idaho Supreme Court, So I got on the page because of the alterness of my document that's been happening, because I was refused and denied to file my documents before the Supreme Court. The only way that I was allowed to file my documents before the Supreme Court, ma'am, was to have them mailed or hand delivered, and I live over 500 miles away, and I had no way to protect my documents from being altered. And even in all my conversations that I've got that are posted, because I have nothing to hide, man. And I wish you wasn't a woman, because I don't like speaking with women this way. But, this is, clearly. But you see, I can't go, just like I got this email from somebody from in California, from you guys, well, not your all, well, from the FBI's webpage, contact me in an email, because I work on this almost 24/7. This has been my life, man. They've lied, and they've lied. And they've destroyed my life, even with my kid that I just found after looking for him for 15 years, just weeks before this accident. And even and then Luker, he didn't call one person. Now, what if the judge had put I even won before he was hired. I won a subpoena of somebody, and he still didn't have them appear on my behalf. I live 500 miles away now, and I've had concerns about my documents being altered already. Okay, and then I got all these altered documents in my possession. Now, am I scared? Do I fear for mine and my lady's life? Yes, we do, and I do. I can't show it. Okay, I can't show it now. Okay, but I do fear, man. Especially now that I've done this video a few days back. I'm afraid for my life and my safety, man. I'm up against it now with this video that I found of the Supreme Court Justice. Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Okay. The Supreme Court Justice. A Supreme Court Justice of the Supreme Court. Okay. Some of these documents that I received from them, I just know they're not real. Okay, and because I was street smart, not book smart, because I was illiterate. But then when I learned how to read when I went to prison, okay, one time in my life I made a mistake and I paid for it. But they're trying to also say I've been in prison all my life by the doctor's reports and everything. But my fear for my life is because I know where I'm at right now, and I know what I've uncovered, and that's what I fear. I have even posted on my pages. And then I don't even, that if anything happens to me, there ain't no accident. Because you got an Idaho Supreme Court Justice, Mr. Roger Bruitt, okay, for him to have this video done in 2011, and I'm fighting him right now. You tell me, ma'am, how many people, how many injured workers, because of how he posted, how appellate rules work, because that's what it was. It was a little seminar for the public to view, which I wasn't supposed to see this either. I wasn't supposed to make it this far. I wasn't even supposed to have made it this far to find all of this stuff out. But when you take a person's life and he can no longer make a living, and then you try to make him out to be what he's not, and then you post these things on a web page that's actually right now posted that are lies, that I can produce to prove that they're lies, they won't remove them. Ma'am, I wanted to cut it off, but you know what my psychiatrist and everybody tried to help me with? To understand what phantom pain was. Because truly, even right now, because I've been cut off all my medication and everything, my pain medication, I do need the help. Why didn't Lynn call my psychiatrist that's been working with me, that said my injury and everything is 100% PTS work related? No, ma'am. But it sure don't look good. And I can't do the work I'm accustomed to make a living. Huh? Well, because the decision of the Industrial Commission, who was covering up the fraud for the state insurance fund. Because it's because the way Idaho works, I didn't know government, man, until the last year. Because government wasn't what I had to know to make a living. because I was a laborer all my life. Because I was illiterate, I went to these gym services. Okay, I could prove that I've worked over 100 jobs in a lifetime. I'm pretty proud of it now, but before I wasn't. Okay, because you don't want to be proud of it and let everybody know that you're illiterate. Okay, so I went to these gym services. I used them, and I can. That's where they weren't. Everything I say is verifiable, but not theirs. I mean, if you want, I learned the computer a little bit, but I don't know it very well still, because I didn't know a computer. It's like a fax machine now. It wasn't until this last year, and I'm 54 years old. I just learned how to use a fax machine. I thought you had to pay to have a fax machine hooked up to your phone line. The lady, oh man, I'll even do a video chat. I mean, I know I can get on Skype. I can hook up a video, and I'll show you some of these documents if somebody wants to just listen to me. Because right now, what I've got from the Supreme Court is supposed to be over. But then I speak with their attorneys today because of some of their filings that are altered. Don't hang up on me now. Sorry. All right. Yes, ma'am.
Alright, now I just texted it, you're gonna have to do here.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get yourself an attorney to represent.
Yeah, I've tried that, ma'am. Trust me, I even hired an agency to help me try to find an attorney. Because of Lynn, Idaho legislator, nobody will even touch me, ma'am. So they're going to get away with it, even though I'm trying to do the right thing. So I won't be responsible for my actions, I'm going to tell you. Because this is my life that's on the line. And I think I've done everything I should have done, or tried to do. I tried to make sure that I was heard. But it seems like I get fallen on deaf ears. When I mention Lynn Luker, legislator, which right now I do have a complaint with the Idaho State Bar, because I can't get nobody in Idaho. Idaho, everybody over there, even your office, I believe, over there. Because I was given a number from these people when I was given your number. Who were the people that gave you the number? It was on my webpage.